hours, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Welcome to the after hours.
I don't know if Mishka understands this, but the longer you don't drink hard alcohol, the better the buzz is when you do. Like, you don't even probably have to drink as much, because I haven't been drinking vodka, but just that first tilt of it is so delicious, and it's like, yeah. Wish it came in a pill form.
Spoken like a true off the wagon alcoholic. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I remember. Remember how good
There it
vodka
is.
felt? Yeah, that's right.
Come to Papa.
Daddy light.
Yeah. My wagon
Andy, you were talking
fixed.
earlier about how the people in your hometown are fucking stupid. I told you guys I joined that social group in my hometown to check and see there's fires all over,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
wanted to try to check on it.
Is it like
Well, it's
next
devolved.
door?
There's-
Is it like next door Warren or something?
It's just a Facebook group, but it's the same thing.
All
It's just from everybody in that town, and it used to have some information and stuff on there, but it's devolved, and it's not that anymore. It's just fucking ignorance, abundance. But somebody posted someone posted a thing on there, and it says, do you think we should teach our students Arabic numbers, which is just the fucking name of fucking regular fucking numbers.
Yeah,
and
that's getting punked.
Holy shit, the whole fucking thing is, it's like 300 people that immediately need your, fuck no, this is America. And I was like, oh my God, that's really where I came from.
Yeah.
This is fucking
How
horrible.
many
Horrible.
comments?
It's
What?
Copy and paste into Google. You don't even have to
see-
spell Arabic.
This is what I need, Chad. I need you to tell me this story every time I'm about to post. Trump is going to get his ass handed to him in the next election. Every time I'm about to post that, I need you to tell me that story that you just told me so that I can go, oh yeah. That's right.
You're dealing
I
with.
forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
This is who you're talking to, right?
I heard, I was listening to Rachel Maddow, and she says, like, Biden's ahead in the polls. But then I'm down in Coos County, and I see a lot of fucking big jacked up trucks with fucking flags and Trump shit. I was like, who's right here, you know?
Yeah.
Rachel's out there in safe territory, but those fucking redneck punks in those small towns are ready to fucking fight for this game show host that's possibly lost all of his fucking mind and is strung out on speed and makes no sense.
I didn't mean to spin it that way. Let's go back to Denny's Pizza. I want to know how it is
I went there.
Restaurant in America can name itself a Denny's, and
I'll tell you why.
Do you want to hear?
If the guy's name is Denny's, he has a claim to the name Denny's Pizza. If his name is not Denny's, it would be harder for him to claim.
I get that. It's not that I'm not saying legally he shouldn't be able to do it. I'm saying that from a marketing standpoint,
he wins.
Why would he?
Not a great idea. There has to be a better name for your pizza place than McDonald's.
But look, hey, Denny's restaurant is not in Coquille. The other restaurant has never challenged us.
It doesn't matter if they have fucking challenged him in court. What I'm saying is it's just very confusing. You can never make your own. It's like if we called this podcast the Doug Stanhope Podcast Pizza.
We should have that.
Let's just rename it.
Actually, you know what?
We'll get a pizza. We'll get a pizza
That's
oven.
actually a pretty good idea.
We'll have Henry Phillips describe the ingredients of the pizza for each episode.
That was a bad example on my part.
Well, I'll tell you this about ignorance.
Point well taken.
I apologize to all the Patreon.
I don't know.
Who are out there with us right now. That joke was subpar. It's because I've drank a box of wine and it's my fault.
There's a room. There's a corner of Denny's Pizza. I went there for a class reunion, and there was a party at Denny's Pizza, right? And this was I can't even remember, but it was one of the O's, 20, 30, probably 30. I went
20,
there.
30 hasn't happened yet.
No, 20 or 30. Year 20
yeah.
30.
So I went there, and then my class and what was left of them, had expanded. They've gotten a little bigger and a lot duller. I don't remember them being quite so fucking tedious to talk to as a per person. But we were all in a corner of Denny's. It has this low ceiling, and we were all in a corner, and the fucking air in there was dead. It was like, it was way too hot, and all these fucking big, large fucking classmates and shit with their fucking boring spiels, all in this thing. And I was like, fuck this. And I left and went downtown, smoked weed, and a few scragglers followed me or whatever. But it was like, that's how smart my class is. They can't even, there wasn't anybody in the rest of the restaurant. They were just all told to be in this corner, and they didn't figure out.
There.
Yeah, like assholes. Fuck them. Fuck them.
I almost never comment on stuff on Facebook, but there was on that thing I fucking said, I said something like, this could have been a teachable moment, where we talk about jumping to conclusions. And I said, shit, no, wait. They're fucking actually doubling down on being stupid. They were then arguing still deeper. I started seeing in the comments, and I was like, "It's so the people. There's no hope for people, man.
No,
there's no
there really
hope.
Is.
We have there isn't. And as far as there's no, we had a place in town in Sierra Vista, Erickson, and I laughed every time I drove by it. It was a place that made sub sandwiches, and they called it substandards.
No fucking way.
Like, who in the fuck possibly? How did that get past the marketing department, man? That's
every one of his relatives said that's a good idea.
Yeah.
No one complained.
You
His
make
brother,
subs. I
his,
get
his
it.
brother runs
Substandard.
tainted meat sandwiches down the road.
No, it's Jeremy Taint. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you don't like substandard,
Yeah, it's the Taint family butchers.
Just head on down the street
sandwiches.
to Taint's. Taint
Yeah,
has some
tainted
good
meat.
shit, too.
Tainted meat. It's the best butcher in Coquille.
Yeah, oh my God, that guy's fabulous. Substandards. Well, we have subs and we have standards, so it's substandards. Simple.
Neither of which are good. You should probably go to Denny's.
Don't overthink it. Go over to Denny's. Oh, for breakfast? No, they don't have breakfast. What are you, crazy?
There's no breakfast.
Now
They're not
you're
even
like
open till 2.
You're in an Abbott and Costello routine in Coquille, trying to find
Denny's, right?
At some point, I should do like a Larry Bud Melman, Man on the Street in Coquille, and interview some of the fucking heroes of the fucking June 2nd. Or you like, put Joe Biden down in Denny's Pizza and hear what they got to say about him. His heart would be broken.
If nothing else, next year on June 2nd, we can go back there for the 1-year anniversary of the great Antifa uprising in Coquille.
Yeah.
See if we can talk to people about their memories of.
They're already planning it,
battle.
I'm sure. They're already planning. Probably put in for some kind of parade permit.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a reenactment.
Where they all just stand still in front of a bar.
Hey, Bob, I think you were over here. I was over there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone pull up a picture.
$14,000 worth of firearms to protect $13,000 worth of fucking property. Bunch of fucking assholes, I drive around that town and like, God damn, it's like a fucking Mr. Rogers neighborhood, but there's fucking dipshits in every fucking house gurgling out fucking ignorance that are fucking next to kin and watching stupid TV and eating bad foods. God damn it. And then I can't make fun of them later when the consequences have hit their body. I can't say acknowledge that. It's like, God damn it. But that, it doesn't help. I should call them ignorant fucking cunts and not big fat ignorant cunts.
It is funny. We really should remember. I scribbled something down, but we should remember that because it doesn't even just have to be Coquille. There are so many Antifa battles that never happened that are hilarious. That this punked thing has been going around Facebook for a while, and old scared racist white people have been nervous that Antifa's coming to their town. And there was a whole big thing in Gettysburg on the 4th of July that Antifa was coming there, and there was going to be a whole thing, and all the bikers showed up, and they got all tough, and so it would be funny to next year do the anniversaries and like go around and get a camera and interview people and get their remembrances of the big battle that they had saving their country from domestic terrorism and leftist fucking rebels.
Yeah, it was a fucking hard fought battle. I mean, I was there in the original battle on Baxter Street when we tried to evict Larry from upstairs. And I'll tell you what, we didn't have a small, undisciplined, out of
Larry
shape
Stonewall.
collection of fucking white trash fucking cunts to, form a posse out there at the end of the driveway so that we could kind of reinforce what we're saying to Larry. It's like, come on, Larry, like you got to move. And look we got a well-organized militia out there, of fucking fat turds of Coke Heel. They're not even fucking historic fat turds of Coke Heel. They're fucking like, it's one thing to be a Coke Heel fucking grew up there, but it's another thing to be a carpetbagger protecting you're protecting the property from the people who we steal.
Right.
You're up against
the Andrus name doesn't carry much clout.
It isn't even us. It's like the whole town's dishonest and out of shape and full of fucking nonsense,
Yeah, but you guys made the paper.
They can be very proud of themselves. They still don't get the joke, and that's the hilarious part about it. They're still fucking, fuck them. There was two assholes standing guard with weapons outside of the weed store. It's like, you don't even deserve this. Like you think that the Antifa is going to come loot the weeds? You fuck off. There's such a hysterical bunch of cunts. I would like if John Lindgren, if I could get John Lindgren to walk around in an Obama shirt. Yeah. If he,
John Lindgren?
He could beat the fuck out of all that. He could have disarmed all those fucking dudes and slapped them around and shit. And that's Coke Heel. It's a bunch of fucking loggers that are all tweaked out on meth that'll do some violent shit to you. It's not about protecting property. You got the whole fucking city ordinance wrong. And I went to that tire shop, and it's like, fuck this too. Fuck Russ. Fuck that guy who didn't give me directions on jacking up a car, and all of it. It was like, I realize I'm a victim of ignorance and a perpetrator of it as well, but I'm a victim of it because I grew up with it. My parents were just fell into it, and they lacked discipline or mental capacities, so they couldn't fight the Coke Heel den, and pretty much just a lot of fucking dumb fucking people. They grew up and they were smart and they were the top of the class, and now they're fucking nitwits swallowing fucking bullshit and fucking acting like they I wish stupid people understood where they were. I'm stupid, I get it. I'm one of the few stupid people who understands it, but like your average dumb guy's all like, my opinion, he's got all these opinions, and they're not really opinions, they're just fucking a bunch of catchphrases that they throw at you.
Right.
And that's, talking about the
regurgitated
20-year reunion?
bullshit.
No, but just in general. I mean, that's
dude,
how they were.
Dude,
yeah.
Dude, listen, I'm totally with you because
we lost Chad.
He'll be back. But
that ain't him.
That's my John Lindgren picture.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That could also still be Chad. But Andy, you're totally right because I feel the same way, and I feel like it's my parents' fault because my parents told me when I was growing up, and this was backed up by the teachers. And what they kept telling me every year was that I was smart, that I was one of the smart ones, and that the only thing that I was doing wrong was I wasn't living up to my potential. And if I just tried a little
harder, the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, me.
So I ended up. I don't even remember how old I finally was before I realized that I wasn't smart at all. That I was bang average at best. So. Like and me thinking that I was smarter than everyone was really, honestly, weirdly, my parents did it out of love, and I think so did everybody else who told you this, because they wanted to tell you could be the president someday, like that. It comes from that sort of idea.
Turns out that's a slam.
Well, I mean, it turns out that you couldn't have done it if you didn't have a bunch of money. But the point is that you end up realizing it takes you so long to find out that you're dumb that you end up fucking a whole bunch of stuff up first. Like once I realized I was dumb, and then I could go about building my own education because now I get it. I'm a fucking moron. So now you know.
I learned how flawed the system was and how dumb I was in one fell swoop, because when I was in third grade, they came in and took me out of class with like 4 other kids. And I was like, I was super embarrassed because I had to go to a different learning place and go do stuff. And I'm like, I'm fucking dumb. It was not until like a year later that I realized that it was an accelerated learning program.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, yeah, I think your fucking program's flawed because I'm dumb as shit, dude.
Yeah.
I thought I've been in special ed for a year.
I was going to make fun of you for calling it a learning place.
I
You don't know the name of the term for the classroom you went to.
John Adams Elementary.
I told you guys this in grade school. They had a school bus parked, and that was where the retarded kids received their education most of the day. But I wasn't retarded, but I had a lot of the same teachers. Like, you know, like I saw
a specialist.
I met with a specialist, Mr. Rainey, and Mr. Rainey and me would meet in a weird little dark room in the back of the gymnasium where I worked on tongue twisters. That's what I did with Mr. Rainey. Was
you had to work on whether or not
Mr.
I can't even say it.
Listen to my words, not my enunciation. I guess I had a list for. I did a lot of she sells down, but she does sell them. Fuck it. She does sell
a lot of seashells down by the seashore.
But I just do the
That's
Porky
what I was trying
Pig.
To say a minute ago.
So I do a realistic. I just did a realistic, flawless Porky Pig. That's what I did. It's like I can't. So Mr. Rainey would say it, but I would I wouldn't say the F word but I would mix it up or whatever. And I didn't have the discipline to go. She sells seashells by the seashore. I would say she does, doesn't she? And go repeat it again. And he had a fucking 70. He was probably a creeper. I don't know. He didn't do anything with me, but he had a fucking Mr. Havers mustache, and he met with kids in the back of the gymnasium. So I don't know if I wasn't his cup of tea.
Sometimes guys who turn out to be teachers of children are just guys who really didn't fall into any other sort of job. Like they didn't really know what else to do. They didn't have any other skill set.
Did you say sometimes or some?
Yeah, sometimes.
And it worked out for me, all that training I had with Mr. Rainey. I had a girlfriend in college. When I first started college, she was a high school chick, like Booger. She was a fucking senior at Medford. Anyway, she had an adorable lisp from a ski accident, knocked her teeth out.
Just her front teeth?
Yeah, and I don't know what was going on.
New ones back in? Because if they put new teeth back in, you don't have to have the.
Well, she didn't have her S's down, and I felt like it was like I shouldn't even I didn't want to mixing with high school chicks is a mistake anyway. And it was like it's like I was 20 and she was 18 and she her dad would deliver her over to the dorms. Like I was living in the dorms when I was after my community college situation went awry and funding got cut off. I went to the big time and while I was at state college, but I was forced to live in the dorms for a while. I guess I chose to.
Andy, you went to community college and did poorly and then went to state college?
I didn't have a lot of transferable credits. But when you put all the
5 years I was at a community college.
When you put all my transferable credits
together, 2 years away from going to a state college.
Yeah, when you put 5 years transferable credits together, it looked like one solid year of work. It just took 2 years to obtain, but I had a lot of side grifts. College was my day job.
His grades weren't that good. No, his grades weren't that good, but his essay fucking got him in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had
he made a case for himself.
I had some friends help me. Yeah, I had an essay get me through 2 parts of accounting. My essay, Paul Boyd, he was one of the basketball players. I gave him stats.
No, I didn't mean essay.
I know. I was.
Essay.
He was my essay, yo. And I kept stats for him, and he gave me,
another
all
stats-related fucking.
Here's the thing: it's like we didn't have an agreement. We took accounting 1 and 2 together, and I don't know shit about it. I could never keep a checkbook up without crying, I just don't like numbers and columns. So, like a lot of that, it's real important for the fucking accounting. Keeping a ledger. I don't like writing shit down and all that. It's a lot of negativity. So I didn't like it, but I got through.
You could be talking about your act right now.
Yeah, so I had
I don't like to write things down, and there's a lot of negativity.
Yeah, and a lot of bad accounting. And so I got an A. It's probably, you know, real solid A through to the 2/3 of accounting, an A. I didn't get any of the concepts, and then my roommate didn't take the third in the sequence. So it's like, you know, at that point he'd gotten a firearm and had pointed at me a couple of times on accident. I was okay. I was okay with not finishing accounting.
So your roommate.
You shouldn't have used financial aid to get weapons.
Your roommate pointed a gun at you, and your thought was
accidentally.
This is gonna screw up my accounting grade.
No, but I guess I didn't push him to finish the accounting because at that point,
no, because he had the gun.
But I lost all leverage, dude.
But I also stop accidentally pointing that gun at me and do my homework.
I mean, you know, here's the thing, and you know, for our younger listeners, you know, you can get away with some fucking goofy shit at community college, but when you take it up to the state college, they will fucking make you come in and plead your case to. It's like all those unsatisfactory marks I got in middle school and high school. Poor citizenship, needs improvement. It's like it all came to a head at state college, and I just sort of, I mean, I know I can kind of vaguely remember walking in and having some sort of idea what was going to go down, but I went there. It sort of seemed like
Wormer's office with a dead horse.
It was more like the Shawshank Redemption when Morgan Freeman went to get parole, and then he just broke down and said, "Listen, Sonny, I know you're not going to parole me." But I sat in there and there was like 5 people and they were just, you know, it's like when you're tripping, and I was tripping on life and tripping up and failing or whatever. I mean, according to them,
you knew you had no chance of surviving.
No, I mean, I really didn't even know.
Kangaroo court. They were putting.
This is how fucked up I was. I didn't even know what the whole meeting was about. And it did concern me. It was over.
Of all the felonies he committed, he wasn't sure which one was like, all right, you got to hear the charges first before you decide what you're going to say.
It would probably be on the invitation.
Well, I mean, the only other
you didn't read.
Ed was like me. He thought he was going off to special ed. I don't know. Where are we going?
Get in this refrigerator box.
Listen, I don't need to go to administrations. I can pronounce it. You make me nervous. I can't say it right. But I went over to administration when they told me they didn't kick me out of the dorms. They were kicking me to the foreign dorms as punishment.
So what they said there was,
you went to the nerd fraternity?
Yeah. No, I opted out.
What they were saying is, it's not you, it's us.
Well, when I went over there for that was my previous visit to the administration. I had 2 visits. I went over there and he said, you know, a lot of catchphrases from sports movies, but basically, if I want to play hardball, I was going to be playing hardball. I was going to start rehab, the unacceptable, you know, fucking all this shit. And he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. In fact,
I'm sure he had charts.
Well, I was concerned about what I'd read in that one RA's report, you know, because it's like, you know, it's the kind of shit, you know, like Sam Talent wrote in his book or whatever. It's like, you know, like I'm tearing up the bathroom, and then he's like, you know, what are you doing? And I was like, hey, could you give me a hand with this? I could, you know, like, you can't tear that off of here. And I go, I can, and if you help me, or, you know, it's sort of funny.
Not if you don't help me.
Yeah, but then there's property damage, and yeah, I didn't save any of my paperwork. And then that was the one morning, this guy who's over, I don't believe him. Anyway, he said I was choking to death on my own vomit and he saved me. And then he's like always like wanting a thanks for it. And I'm like, you know, just leave me alone next time, you know. It's like, I think I fucking got this fucking college riddle solved. But there was a lot of negativity at the dorm, and then there was the big fire. And but you know, I was getting.
Wait. Already, I love this. Like, you were already ready to just say it and then move past it, like it was nothing.
He moved on to the next thing.
And then there was the big fire. So then we just did this. Like, wait, whoa! The big fire.
So yeah, me and my roommate Paul were in my room at Green Springs, and we're on the 2nd floor.
Wait, and also, by the way, if you and your roommate Paul are in your room, you're also in Paul's room. I just want to put that.
Actually, he was a roommate he was a roommate at community college, and he was a roommate later. But while I was in the dorm,
roommate from a different room.
I had a fucking roommate, and he was a few years younger, but he was like from an emo movie, or I don't even like a Pretty in Pink. He was like a Pretty in Pink and a sober kid, and we didn't get along at all. Or but I hung out with other people. And on this night, my roommate didn't hang out. He like basically like a feral cat left my place, and he I don't know where he was living, but I had the room, and then me and Paul were getting really high, and then we hear fire. And it's this asshole Ginger next door who's a dick, and I didn't even yelling fire and help. No, he was yelling help. He yelled help like 3 times. And me and Paul was like a big dude, like 6'5". He was 6'5", and he always say dude. And I was like, hey, do you think we should help him? He's like, dude, I'm not helping that dude, or whatever. And he's like, yeah, fuck that guy or whatever. He's yelling help though. And then so. Like he yelled help like 3 times, and it was like, they got more and more intense. But this is in a male dorm room, like
still something could have happened. He needs help.
Right. All the more reason to stay in my room. If it's a
help
zombie.
Isn't like a Jeopardy quiz. Well, you have to guess what the question is.
Yeah,
and the answer is help.
I think at some point after a bong hit, Paul might have leaned out the window and goes, and then he goes, dude, there's smoke. Who? My roommate Paul, or Paul Boyd.
He called him bong hit Paul?
Well, he took a bong hit, and then he was blowing it out the window like you do as a at risk, already on the verge of being kicked out of there.
To.
So he's blowing it out, and he goes, I think there's smoke coming from next door. And then right about that point, fucking asshole goes, fire! And so here's what happened. This guy is such an asshole. Somebody had toilet papered his room, probably because they didn't like him or whatever. I don't, or maybe he did it himself for attention, but he lit a cigar. This is how his version of it. He lights a cigar. So I think he set the fucking room ablaze, and then wanted, like he was a desperate cry for help. And I was like, fuck him. And I guess nobody else heard it either. And so then there's flames coming out in the hall. He bangs out and runs out of the room. And then me and Paul open the door, and there's flames going out. And then we close the door and take some more hits, because we're on the 2nd floor. We can pitch down. We're all right. We got some green grass, and we're like, I was fuck, man. And so before I left, though, and this is something that came up again, because my brother Larry, he's got a new trailer, and it's got a built-in stereo, but he wanted to hang on to these Bose speakers. And me and him have traded these throughout our history. When he went to jail, I bought them when I went to college, and I had these 901s, these big fucking 901s. Yeah. And he has them in his RV. Like, you can light up a fucking, you could light up a gymnasium with those speakers, easy. And I had these in my dorm room, and this fucking dude, and there's flames out in the hall, and he's fucking crying and runs out. Me and Paul smoke some more weed. And then we do go out the door like gentlemen, but not before I put on, and I could do repeat on my Fisher stereo. I don't know how I figured it out. I mean, all that schoolwork I had, but I figured out how to repeat a song, and I put on Talking Heads, Burning Down the House, with those fucking, because it's already, there's sirens going off, and the fire department's on their way and everything. So the noise wasn't going to be an issue. Look at that. So,
hey, Andy, are these the speakers?
Yeah, big old fucking wide, narrow fucks. And so the fire, everybody was happy. The firemen are throwing the mattress out, and it's, burning down. And it was wonderful. And then I got kicked out of asked to leave the dorms for, I got a little carried away Halloween. And there was a big incident report, but there was, I guess, I don't know. I don't remember them talking about the other reports, but there was a stack of them when I got to them. And it's
the Andrist file.
There was, this guy kept all these notes, but he was like, I think he was a shy guy and was afraid of my energy.
I don't think that's what happened at all. I think a guy is.
I think he could read.
I think
he could read. That's why.
He's the resident advisor. He's running the dorm. He's running the floor at least, and he realizes he's got Andy Andrist on his floor. And he immediately recognizes that he's fucked. Either he has to get Andy off the floor and off of campus, or he's going to lose his job. You can't do both. You can't run a dorm. You can't run a successful dorm.
And that's just... a guy lit his room on fire, and they're kicking you out of the fraternity.
Right. I wonder what happened.
You didn't even want to help him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't even gone there. I was like, I got rubed, man. It was like a Casey Kasem ad. It said, "Oh, this is Southern Oregon State Party College." No, it was a party college because there was a bar that happened to be on campus called Omar's, and it was an okay bar, but it wasn't a fucking happening bar or whatever. But if you're a fucking don't want to go to class and you just want to drink and listen to a jukebox, you could do that at Omar's. And so anyway, I had a drinking problem.
You went to a college called SOS?
It was Southern Oregon State College, or
oh my god, it was called SOS.
College.
It was called SOS. Good catch.
Now it's named something different. I think they
since the fire.
Yeah, since the Green Springs fire, and so. When I got asked up to the administration building to go up and talk to the head of housing on the thing. And one of the things that was written up in the report was one of the things that wasn't written up in the report. There was a big plate glass window with the wire in it, like it's that thick of a fucking window that there's the wire.
It's got the grid. It's got the grid of wire. There's like a safety glass.
It was it was punched with authority and blood the next day. Now, it wasn't in any incident report, but I put my fist up there that hurt and was fucking bloody, and I did have some glass in it. And
you did it.
I don't. Well, the forensics would tell you that, sure.
Mr. Andrus, we've got your knuckle print.
I fucking jam. It's like, so. I mean, it would have been nice to get an incident report on that to see if I said anything funny or what brought me to that point where I punched a fucking, it was apparent at that point I wasn't going to graduate on time.
Clearly,
probably. Punching
on time?
Well,
you thought there was a chance?
No.
On
no,
time.
I never had a
time.
I never really thought about time in increments like that. Yeah. But I had this big stack, and this guy Joe Hill was going to send me to rehab. I told you guys this on a podcast, but he's going to send me to rehab. And then he's saying about hardball and all this shit. And I'm mixing it up because I stopped at Omar's because I didn't I'd never been summoned to the administration building. So I got some drinks in me and I was just mano a mano with him. And he goes, but somehow I ended up with that contract that I'd signed that committed me to a full year in the thing. And he was going to find me, or I was going to go to rehab, which basically I was going to go live in the foreign dorm, move in there, and then be away from campus for 6 weeks and get my demons under control, as he said. And I was like, what do you mean? Like demons, like my roommates buy furniture and I smash it and I'm blackout drunk all the time and blowing up shit and setting my clothes on fire? You mean I got demons? Yeah, if I got demons, and so does everybody else in my family.
And he's like, yeah, but your other family members aren't at school here at Southern Oregon State College, so we're only going to worry about you, sir. Please sign this.
It's a true statement, but a false equivalency.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was pretty unshakable because, and I'm thinking about this now, there was a lot of Shakespearean students that were there was a Shakespearean festival in town, and there was a bit of Shakespeare in town, and that guy he kicked a lot of people up into rehab, and he made money off of the kids who went to rehab. So it was kind of like, not that I didn't need it. I was
like one of those jail things where like the judge makes money in Pennsylvania if he sends the juvies to fucking jail.
Well, a lot of bad eggs.
That to you guys in Oregon, they're sending you to rehab, and the fucking dean of the college is making money off that?
I probably mentioned this guy's name.
That's Cool Hand Luke.
One of the
they're making money off the sending guys on the chain gang.
Yeah.
But there was the story in Pennsylvania like a couple years ago of the judges who were sending kids to rehab and or to juvenile hall and prison to make money. Like it was just below Sandusky level abuse of children.
Well, here's what was going to happen. And I don't know that he told me this, but one of the bad eggs who also was getting removed from the dorms at the same time, and I don't think he'd signed the year contract, but I ended up living with Greg Wacker, and Wacker was a bad seed, and he was getting kicked out of one of the other Green Springs rooms, and then he heard I was the guy who had the big speakers that played "Burning Down the House" during the fire, because it kicked every dorm had to empty out there, so it was actually a pretty cool party, and the burning mattress and everything, and and I was
and your speakers blaring the song over.
Yeah. Over and over, and like people had some weed and shit. But so when people went and met Joe Hill, some of them were Shakespearean actor students who were going to be bullied and put into the thing. So whatever I had to throw up against him, I had a few drinks and I thought, I'm going to fucking, no way this guy's going to, and he fucking had me. I couldn't, he was unshakable. He'd seen bad actors before and he dealt with them. And he made, Wacker told me he made $75 per week per kid he sent to rehab. I don't know. He's full of shit. He was always full of shit, but it made sense to me. And but anyway, I ended up with that contract.
$1980. So
yeah, so fuck him. Anyway, so to end this thing, when I got summoned to the administration building, and I'd been there 2 or 3 years, or long enough to get some sort of hand degree. 2 years at community college and 3 years at state college, all fucking for what? For fucking nothing. The degree I earned is from the community college. I have an associates of art that I never.
Yeah, that's
they
what
never. They didn't send
Oh,
it.
wait a minute, Andy. You have an AA?
Yeah. An AA. I'm AA with an AA, and I never picked it up. So it's MA. I'm AA with an AA.
MIA. Your AA is MIA.
Yeah. I could go to Albany and get it, but I'd have to go to Albany, and it's just, it is just right up the road. But it's like
there's an Albany in Oregon.
Yeah, Albany, Oregon. There's an Albany.
You go to get crabs, but you won't go to get your degree.
Yeah. It's twice
in a week.
It's an associates in art, and I wanted to be a fucking pig.
I don't know what you'd do with it anyway. Yeah, if you had it.
Put it on the wall.
I spent 2 years trying to be a pig, and all I learned how to do was use black people for scams and fucking cheat the system and lie and steal a bunch of fucking money.
That's an AA.
Grifts. And then, but here's the thing: it's like, here's the thing. Why did I flunk out as a cop when I'm so perfect for the gig?
Well, if you had the AA,
you have too much empathy. I heard you talking about how bad you felt about making fun of conjoined twins, and cops would not have felt any shame about that. They'd have realized that those conjoined twins deserved it all.
You know how you get rid of a conjoined twin? Take a 12 gauge to the less popular one. That's their thinking, not mine. Not mine. It's love them both equally.
That's not anything.
You don't know which. You don't
love them both equally.
Look, if you have conjoined twins, is there any reason picking a favorite?
Are you arguing with yourself right now?
I know. I'm getting back. I'm back into it. It's like, but I mean, here's the thing: is like, as a parent, you don't want to show favoritism, but there's one side of that kid that you like more, or you have a better time talking, and the other one's always there witnessing it. So it's like,
yeah. Well, you can tell by the picture that the one with the smirkier face is the smarter one. She's tired of the other one.
A little
tired of the pretty one.
A little more self-assured, tired of dragging around that dead weight. Yeah, I like your hair. Would you get out of my face?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, come on. It's,
All right, you guys. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. And let me just say this. This is to double back on something from earlier. Andy, earlier you mentioned that when you were in high school, they had a school bus that they kept outside that they taught the special needs students in. And let me just say this. I know it's out there, and I'm sure, Shaylee, it's been put out there, but we should put it out there again. When we recorded the absolute very first episode of Issues with Andy that never aired, but it was us on stage at the Cast Smiley's Alaska Before You Die Festival, and we were just testing the equipment for her to do a bunch of podcasts after us, and we were just day drinking and doing it. Andy told the story of the retarded kids being taught on a bus on the outside.
Oh, that's when I did it?
Yes. And
that started
and
everything.
It was truly and purely the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm positive I've never laughed that hard. I was dying. We were dying. And that's when and that is the moment, honestly, for sure. As a cheers, that's the moment that the four of us
we were testing the equipment for all the podcasts that were being paid to be there. Yeah. And ours intimidated all of the podcasts after us.
And I never, funny. I don't think I've probably haven't even done it since that then was the pig neutering with the special needs, as we call them. You know, it won't be politically correct.
That was the whole
just
story.
Call them dullard or stupid, and they got along with it. And they
Shaylee, I think you have the audio.
I have it. I can't believe we haven't put it out.
Well, no, we shouldn't put it out. We're gonna hold it out. We're gonna create another tier of. We're gonna sap these fucking assholes for another $20 a month.
Oh, are we in the private meeting again? Oh, good. Good God, those fucking clam eating pigs.
I mean, look, if you pay $60 a year for just the pittance of content we give you, then
if you have more than 3 kids and one of them's named Malachi and you're critical of them, shame on you, and you're the fucking asshole. Sorry, I fucked it up. We were on our way out.
You're right, Erickson. Good job.
That's what it was.
That was a lot of fun.
When Andy said that earlier, I immediately had the flashback to that moment with you 3 fucking assholes. Like, honestly, first of all, we were having the most fun ever that weekend there because all 4 of us were there doing this festival, but that was where we showed up early to set up the equipment, and then we started day drinking, and then it started, and then we started all talking at this table.
Bloody Marys at 11 a.m.
The picture that I think is the picture somewhere. I'm using it as an avatar for something, but it was my favorite moment in many, many years. We had the most fun that fucking day, and that's when we knew, hey, we should try to make this an actual thing. Right?
I remember laughing so hard like a little fucking kid, kicking my feet because I just couldn't know what the fuck else to do. It was so goddamn funny.
Oh
yes.
My god.
Yes.
Oh my god. We'll find that audio. Honestly, we'll put it out.
Yeah,
I have both episodes.
I'm just
thinking the night. Hold on a second. The night before, it was Erickson and Andy and I and some comics, and Chad still hadn't arrived. He came in hot from the fucking plane. He put his fucking bag right next to he had his roller bag, and then someone got him high immediately, and then we just started doing shots.
God. All right,
that was the first time. That was the first time. John Norris was with us. John Norris was on the podcast.
Well,
John,
I mean,
and John Mink spilled into the booth.
Well, we did. True. Well, that was. But that wasn't that the next night? Was that the night before?
No, that was the first night. Fucking 12 hours we were in town.
How fitting that the first episode was an abortion.
So wait. So I've got it backwards. So the day of when we the 4 of us did it on stage to test the equipment, when Andy told the story Saturday morning, that was after we did it in the ice house. Yeah. Oh, see, I had it backwards.
And I think that was Thursday night. When Chad came in, we all arrived during the day. Chad came in at midnight, and he came right in the door. Someone took him right out front, smoked weed, and then I don't know if some of the other.
That was still just a warm up. That was still just a warm up. Because what happened when the 4 of us were on stage with zero pressure, based on the fact that we were literally. Well, yes, there was no one in the bar. The bar wasn't even open yet. We were in an empty.
Cass Smiley had all of these podcasts ready to go.
Oh, the podcasters were there, but there was no. The audience wasn't there. There was no audience. We were there at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we set up, and we we did it at noon. But it was all just to test the equipment and everything. But then we did an hour, and it was the funniest fucking hour of my life. I fucking laughed so hard at that. I forgot. I was thinking that the thing we did later with John Mink sitting by our side and John Norris I was thinking in my own head that was after. That was at the end of the. Yeah, that was.
I'll tell you the brilliance. I'll tell you the brilliance of this is that on Friday night I ran into Cass, who the festival was booked and everything was done by her. And I said, because I know I worked for Coots for like 15 years, I know that there's no one prepared for tomorrow when they've got 3 podcasts,
Right.
where they've got paying
Right.
people coming in. So I go,
Yeah.
Cass,
That's right.
when are you sound checking? And then I found Adam, the sound guy, and I go, hey, when's the sound check? No one knew anything. I go, hey, we'll be here at 11 when they
We'll do it.
open, and we will do the sound check.
Right.
And we sound checked from
So-
11 to 12. And while I was setting mics and you 3 of you were just talking on the mics that were up on stage, Cass fucking hit record and didn't tell me. I
That's
found out
awesome.
after the fact.
Really?
And then I
Wow.
ran up there and got on the 4th mic, and she goes, hey, I recorded that. I go, brilliant. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
sound check. So it's like if you were going to go see Nickelback, and then the Rolling Stones did a sound check before the Nickelback show.
They're going to check the mic. They're going to check the line.
I know I'm blowing
for
smoke
Nickelback.
up our own ass right now.
That you are
That's
not
like it's fun.
exaggerating. We
No,
got dirty
well,
looks
we do-
from the
we do
people
look
getting
like
ready
we-
to podcast.
Oh my
as we
God,
walked
everyone
out.
else.
Nobody
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
us
yeah, yeah,
anymore.
No one
Like,
wanted to
what
follow
we
that.
do?
It was
What we
fucking
do?
unbelievable. And oh my God.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I did Keith Richards amounts of dope on that track. I don't know where I found it, but
No,
I
you said,
was
yeah.
partying like a
You
Rolling
and Chad
Stone.
both have stories of how much coke was in your
Yeah.
nose going through
No, I
TSA.
remember. I do remember that every day in the Airbnb, you and Chad were out in the living room, and Andy, you always had your suitcase and everything like right by the door, and like you just
Yeah.
kept rearranging everything, like just in case the cops showed up or
Yeah.
anything happened. Like all
Quick
your shit was
getaway.
right by the door just in case. And it's like, dude, we're here for like 4 more days. Like you could just calm down for a minute. But you were like a rabbit that was like being hunted, you know?
Yeah, it's a pattern. I've like what? And I don't know why I stack French fries and organize them like that, but it probably has.
Like your
I think it
luggage?
has. I sort of think it has to do with all the bullshit at the mill and them yelling at you about sorting that wood, and you had to sort it on, because like the little shitty French fries are like the fishtails, and I didn't really like messing with them fishtails because it was like a shitty piece of wood that would grab onto the belt. So I'd always act like I didn't see fishtails, and I would just grab them better French fries that
What?
stacked in.
That's your only fucking job, Andy.
Well, there's different positions on. It's kind of like a band. Like it
You
comes
were
down.
on the fish line. You were fucking. You had the tails. That was your. You've explained to us
Well,
that is your only job was
when
to pull fish tails off the conveyor.
When I was at GP, there were guys who were fucking. It was kind of like professional athletes. The good green chain pullers back in the day, they were like real ignorant, but they were athletic and they could fucking slam that wood, pick it up off the belt, get the thing, and just loft it into the fucking thing and bang it in the back of the cart. And I got that good at it. I just had no desire to really excel at it. So I got that good. And then when a foreman was watching, I'm banging away, sorting it and fucking pulling fishtails and grappling them and not even complaining when they hit me in the face. But when they're not looking, it was a different ball game, and I don't know where that came from.
It was Lucy and
Yeah.
Ethel
No, I'm
with the
with you,
fucking
dude.
chocolates piling up.
When the wood's
Yeah, just
going
stuff it in your
nice and
mouth.
shit, they chop it into these big plywood sheets, and those roll overhead, and like everything's going smooth, and everything's fucking rolling and everything. And it wasn't that I hated trees; I love trees, and I love what they do. And these trees were already dead, but sometimes I would take a fucking board or a thing, and I would jam it into the thing and send it sideways into the stacker and create chaos. I did that quite a bit, and I used to joke that I was in chip production. They go, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I work the green chain, and I don't give a fuck." So I make chips.
Because the thing that you threw out and created
And
cake,
they
you
have
threw
to,
a
and
monkey
then
wrench
that
in the
ruins
works,
the wood. They got
You-
and that
you-
wood had to be chipped.
You know what breaks Hoot Looney's heart? Watching a good goddamn piece of 54 fall over the edge. And he was a religious man. So it broke my spirit to hear him say it. But it happened frequently when I was on the muck, because it's like, you knock that one down and then the shit just gets all, you got to shut it down, man. Come on, Hoot. All right.
Someone's hitting a red button.
Yeah.
When Andy's when Andy's on the line, someone
I didn't even get to the nature
position
jack.
near the red button.
Listen, I had the hell of a time, and I pulled off at Silk Coos because it's a sexy sounding beach, and I went down there, and there's a spot for dogs, and there's a spot for
wait. You're switching now from your fucking mill stories to your nature jacking stories, and I say, look. We got another one to do in a couple of days. We'll just meet back up. You can tell your nature jacking story then. We got to get the fuck out of here. We've been here now for another hour. And
I wasn't trying to endanger no wildlife.
You never are, my friend.
Another tease to the nature jack story coming up
next time.
Yeah, let those plovers nest. Let those plovers nest. In the meantime,
we love you, subscribers. Thank you for being here. You guys are doing more good work than you can even know. Trust me. We'll tell you when we even get farther down the road of what your money's been going to. But we appreciate you. We love that you are out there. We can do this because you guys are out there. So as long as you guys are out there, we can keep doing this. And if you guys get a kick out of it, fucking great, because we would be doing it anyway. So fucking cheers. We'll see you next time.
All right,
69!
69. Yeah. Oh.